All right, let's get into it. Today we're going to be explaining why Josh Jacobs will break out in 2020 and be a top 5 running back. This is Josh Jacobs' 2020 outlook. Let's get into it. Let's first take a look at Josh Jacobs' 2019 rookie campaign, where he put up 242 carries, 1,150 yards, 7 touchdowns, and through the air, he caught 20 passes for 166 yards and 0 touchdowns. That was only while playing 46% of the snaps, keep in mind. And that was also with a committee-style backfield with Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington. So we take that stat line and we pace it out to a 16-game pace, and Josh Jacobs ranked as the RB13, one spot away from being an RB1 while only playing 46% of the snaps. That's saying he was one spot away from being an RB1 while being on the field less than 50% of the time. We also didn't talk about how he had a nagging shoulder injury. He nagged him throughout the entire second half of the season. So we look at his stat line his rookie year, he only got 20 receptions, and that's gonna go up. That's guaranteed to go up. Mike Mayock, GM of the Raiders, reportedly said back in March that Josh Jacobs will be heavily involved in the passing game. You also keep in mind that Josh Jacobs just set a goal for himself to get 60 catches in the 2019 season, or the 2020 season. We take a look at this year, the 2020 Josh Jacobs outlook, and DeAndre Washington is out of the building. That leaves 41 vacated targets out of the backfield, and that also leaves 9 goal line carries to be had, because DeAndre Washington was the goal line back when Josh Jacobs missed those 3 games that he missed in the 2019 season. So we also take a look at Pro Football Focus ranks the Raiders having the 11th best O-line going into the 2020 season. So that's more than good enough to be our RB1 in 2020. We also look at the Raiders bringing Lynn Bowden, who a lot of people are concerned about, but I look at him more as a gadget guy, a Cordero Patterson guy, a Taysom Hill guy. They're even talking about bringing him in to play quarterback for the team. So not only is he going to get some rushing attempts, he's going to get some receiving attempts, but he's going to get some wildcat quarterback action. But with Gruden's offense, I don't know how that's going to work. I think we could see a little Matt Nagy type of action going on where he just screws it up by trying to be too cute, but we don't care about that. We're looking at Josh Jacobs. In 2020, I expect this to be an 80-20 split, 75-25 at the very least, with Jalen Richard being the occasional third down back, the spell back to Jacobs, while Lynn Bowden also getting some carries on the side as well. But in 2019, Josh Jacobs ranked the second best running back in terms of elusiveness in 2019. Jacobs also led the league in broken tackles in 2019. So we know he's talented. He just needs the opportunity. So if we give him the opportunity this year and we look at his stat line that we project this year, how will he finish in the 2020 season? Well, we give him 275 carries. We times that by 4.8, which is the amount of yards that he averaged last year in this 2019 campaign, and that's 1,320 yards. We also give him 35 receptions, which is more than generous, since he's supposedly going to be heavily involved, and also the 41 vacated targets by DeAndre Washington. But we're going to give him 35 carries. That's a 15 catch bump. And we also times that out 8.3, which is the amount that he averaged per catch last season. That's 290.5 yards through the air. And we're also going to give him a bump in touchdowns, since we are projecting this to be a 16-game projection. That's 12 touchdowns in 2020. Now, what does that leave him? That gives him 161 points on the ground with the 275 carries, which is a 30 carry bump playing 3 more games. We give him a 15 catch bump with the 3 games that he's projected to play more. And we also give him 5 more touchdowns than he got in 2019, because he's going to get more goal line work and he's going to get more opportunities through the air. So that's 161 points rushing, 72 points receiving, 35 points through touchdowns, and that leaves him with 268 points in full point PPR, and that puts him as the RB4. The RB4 in 2019. We take a look at the running backs last year with the points that we were projecting him this year, and he finishes as the RB4. Okay, maybe the touchdowns aren't realistic. Maybe he doesn't get 5 more touchdowns that he got last season. Okay, that's fine. We bump him up only 1 more touchdown, and he finishes as the RB7. So that's his floor. the RB7. I am willing to take the RB7 every single time in the back end of the first round. We know Josh Jacobs is talented. He just needs the opportunity. So we gave him the opportunity, and he finishes as the RB7. I love Josh Jacobs in 2020, but again, he needs the opportunity. If Josh Jacobs can play 16 games this year, I am more than confident that he will finish as a top 5 running back in fantasy football. But that's if he can play 16 games. Last year, with the workload he got, he only played 13 games. He had a very good mindset, however, where he cried because he couldn't get on the field. So we know that he wants to be out there, but can his body sustain all this workload? We'll have to see, because last season he couldn't, and that was with a less workload that he's projected to get this year. So that's the only thing that really concerns me with Josh Jacobs, his injury status, but that remains to be seen. His rookie year, maybe that was just a fluke. Maybe he can actually do it. We didn't really see it in college with Josh Jacobs, but I'm hoping the best for him. And if he plays 16 games, he will finish as a top 5 running back. Take that to the bank. I love him this year. I love him along with Miles Sanders. I put him in the same range as Miles Sanders, CEH, and basically those guys after, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Zeke, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook. I love him in the back end of the first round. I think he's going to live up to a first round investment this year, 1000%. I'm excited for him this year because we didn't see it. We didn't see the full workload he's projected to get this year. So I really hope that he stays healthy, because if he stays healthy, again, he will finish as a top 5 running back and he will have a breakout year, but that's if he can stay healthy. Super excited for Josh Jacobs in 2020. That's all I have for you today. This is why Josh Jacobs will break out. I basically gave you guys everything that we know about Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs' 2020 outlook, and go ahead, draft him, because I think he's going to more than produce his ADP right now.